In 1981, Sun Noodle was founded with the goal to bring authentic Japanese ramen noodles to the US. A single family, an obsession with ingredients, an eye for details. This is what made Sun Noodle the leader in its industry. Now at the company's latest location in New Jersey, third-generation noodle maker Kenshiro Uki is taking the lead in further stoking America's ramen fever.
The other day, New York Times came out with an article for the top 10 ramen shops. And we were so happy because out of that 10, 9 are who we work with. Knowing that we're one part of that, every day, it just makes you want to do better and better, and what else can we do? Every day, we have Pacheco and Adrian here who will measure each ingredient by hand and prepare it for the batch to be mixed. And so, besides just wheat flour and water, salt, and kansi, we will add perhaps stuff like vital wheat gluten for chewiness, egg white for much firmer texture, vitamin B2, which is a natural coloring. And so we'll blend that for our customers as well. After that, the dough balls will be dropped down to be compound pressed. All the equipment that we use to make our noodles, whether it's in Hawaii or California or New Jersey, is the same equipment that the top ramen manufacturers use in Japan. And so all the equipment is imported. So we invested in a longer line to compound press the sheets gradually. And our goal is really not to press it more than 30%, so we don't stress the already built gluten. Once we get our desired thickness, we'll cut it with, it's like a noodle cutter, and those will be split into different thicknesses. Whether it's wavy or straight, it's just by adding a certain silicone rubber. And from there, we will package it according to how the customer wants it, the portion size, whether it's bulk or individual. And the end result is, something like this, where it's 5 servings of fresh noodles, boxed properly, taped up. We'll age it for about, a day, and then send it out to our customers. Growing up, on Sundays, we wouldn't go to church, we would go and eat ramen, because that's the only day that we can be together. But my dad would always want to go and visit his customers. So every Sunday, we always ate ramen. My father, at the age of 19, moved from Utsunomiya, Tochigi, Japan, to Hawaii to learn English. He just wanted to learn English and move away from Japan for a bit. At the same time, my grandfather had a business plan to partner with a local businessman in Hawaii to open a ramen factory. Once it, was ready to open, the partner pulled out. It was either, they can just sell the equipment, or he asked my father if he was interested in starting a noodle factory. You have a 19-year-old kid from Japan who doesn't speak English, but knew how to make noodles, from my grandfather and from his experiences as a kid. So it was all communication through the noodles. And so he would take it to the chef. The chef would say it's not soft enough, it's not thick enough, he would say something. And what he would do is immediately go back to the factory, make a sample, and take it back that day. I think his first customer, he went back and forth about 15 times. But at that time, the chef, more than anything, I think believed in how hard he works. And so that was his first customer. And from there, he took that same philosophy for each ramen shop, each customer. Our company has been in business for 32 years, and from the very first day, that was really what my father had imagined or had believed in.
LA's Tsujita and New York City's Momofuku Noodle Bar are among Sun Noodle's many established clients. Ivan Orkin has also partnered up with Sun Noodle for the recent opening of his noodle shop on New York's Lower East Side.
To me, the ramen movement in America is just beginning. I know a lot of people say, oh, there's so many ramen shops in New York, but there's 60. In Tokyo, there's 8,000. It's a big difference. I mean, it's pervasive there. If you want to make pasta, you go to Italy. Most people can pick up Italian pretty easily from English. It's more difficult for an American to really go to Japan and learn deeply about ramen. There's a lot of obstacles. The reason Ivan Ramen is where it's in a way is because my ability I see both sides very seamlessly. I speak both languages, I understand both cultures, and I step back and forth between both worlds very easily. And Sun Noodle does the same thing. Ken speaks Japanese and Ken speaks English, and he grew up in Hawaii, so he's American, and yet his dad's a pretty traditional guy. And I'm not particularly worried about them having competition, because I don't know if anybody's going to work as hard as they do. So it's, they deserve the reputation they have, and when right now, if someone decides they want to have a ramen shop, they call Sun Noodle, because that's the people to call. It's sort of like they say in Japanese, tarimai, it's common sense.
Today, Kenshiro has a new mission for Sun Noodle: to educate American diners about craft ramen and inspire its further evolution. If Sun Noodle has its way, someday each American region will have its own ramen specialty.
The only way that people would appreciate or consider myself successful is if I can do something more than what my father can. What I can do, and I think that I bring to continue that legacy, is I'm born in America. So what I can do that perhaps he couldn't do is how can we convey that craft ramen again to Americans, not Japanese, but to the US. Supporting the local farmers and using local ingredients to make craft ramen localized is really what I want to try to attain before I retire. So if we can get there, that's the true meaning of ramen. So.